we were able to submit all 50 plus miles of LA slow streets, and they're now on Google Maps. Slow streets are here to stay.
This could be a breakthrough.
It's a start. If we could reallocate even 10% of the money that we spend on widening streets and improving things for cars and put that into bike and pedestrian projects, we'd have a completely different city. We want to get progressives on neighborhood councils. I want 2021 to be the last year that we ever widen a freeway. I don't think people enjoy sitting in traffic. I don't think people enjoy looking for parking. Those are two things that I never have to do because I'm on a bicycle. Guilting people, making them feel bad about climate change, all that stuff, I don't think works. If you appeal to their selfish nature, do you want to sit stuck in traffic? Do you want free VIP parking anywhere you go? Stuff like that. And all of a sudden you can start to see the opportunities for change.
Bike Talk, best of 2020. We are giving the best of 2020 to Michael Schneider and Streets for All. But we want to get the story straight here and make sure that we have all the details right. So Streets for All, which Michael Schneider, you're the executive director, right? You guys fought for the Slow Streets initiative for the city of Los Angeles during COVID, which means neighborhood streets were designated safe zones for people to ride bikes and walk. And the LA DOT actually followed through with it after kind of resisting at first. And you guys worked really hard on that. And the kicker that Joe Linton talked about on our last episode was that you were able to get ways to recognize the slow streets. Is that kind of how it went?
Google Maps, yeah. So we were, after 8 weeks of being told no by the city, all of a sudden the mayor announced it and Mike Bond did a press release and we're told yes, and the slow streets got implemented. And we kept trying to brainstorm what are the other things we could do to keep cars away from these streets. We saw heavy use, at least in Mid-City West, and we got reported heavy use from other parts of the city. And so how do we keep these people safe? And one of the very obvious low-hanging fruit things is when someone turns on navigation and they're driving, why not send them away from a slow street unless their destination happens to be on a slow street? And if someone turns on Google Maps for walking or biking directions, why not send them on a slow street? Because that's the purpose of them. So Google is not a very easy organization to navigate, and there is no public service to get you to add something like that. But my day job is I'm a tech entrepreneur, and a buddy of mine in San Francisco sent me a screenshot saying, hey, look what just popped up on our Google Maps. And it was this sort of dotted blue line in San Francisco of their slow streets. And so it took us a little while to navigate it and figure out who to talk to. But once we got through, we got a partner account up and running, and we were able to submit all 50 plus miles of LA slow streets, and they're now on Google Maps. And we also periodically update them. So right now we're pushing a couple of updates for a couple neighborhoods that have changed slightly, and LA DOT also gives us updates sometimes. So yeah, I hope it's having an effect. I know the city as a whole is not doing as much driving as we did before, but slow streets are here to stay. The city council passed a motion and provided funding to DOT to make them permanent, the existing ones permanent. So hopefully this will be a long-lasting effect in keeping cars off our slow streets.
So I have a couple of questions. Google owns Waze, right? Is this also translating to Waze, or?
You might be right. I know they have separate data sources, but they're sharing more and more data. I barely drive. I'm mostly on my bike, and Waze is just for people that drive. So I honestly don't use Waze. I'm not sure.
Okay. I was just curious because, I'm always looking for, in terms of political activism, ways to include other constituencies and find ways to get people on board that might not otherwise be on board with, cycling and walking and that kind of thing. And I know that in a lot of the, the neighborhood discussions and goings-ons that I've been involved in, Waze is a contentious issue. There's there are people, specifically like homeowners on residential streets, that they very much dislike that Waze sends traffic through their neighborhoods, and they feel the same frustration that cyclists and pedestrians feel when traffic is blasting through their neighborhood. And I've seen people express the will to get Waze to change their ways. And here you've found a way to do it. I don't know that it's exactly translating to Waze. You're saying it's Google Maps, but even that's amazing in itself. This is why I kind of named this as my thought of the best of 2020 is like, here's something that you were able to get done that a bunch of neighborhood people have been trying to do for a long time. And I feel like this could be a breakthrough in terms of like, if you can get LA DOT to permanently recognize some of these slow street neighborhoods, that can be expanded to routes like 4th Street, which is great for bicycles, and other sort of crosstown routes that we can start redirecting that traffic onto the main streets again and get a constituency of stakeholders behind this and try to expand that. So that's pretty amazing to me that you got that done. So for whatever it's worth, congratulations, Bike Talk 2020 move of the year. So
thanks, Don.
Yeah.
I was just going to add to what you said. I think the only people that like cut through traffic are the people that don't live there that are cutting through. So this is actually an area where NIMBY interests and progressive interests align. Nobody wants cut through traffic, perhaps for different reasons. But that's one of the things that surprised me about slow streets. Again, maybe there are some residents that like driving 40, 50 miles an hour down a residential street, but most of them, especially ones with kids, elderly parents, stuff like that, they prefer cars slow down. So slow streets is a rare crossover between the two groups. And I agree with you. One of the reasons why we are so excited about the program is, for the first time in a long time, it's caused the whole city to rethink about how we use our street space. It's a start. And I hope we can expand it. They've been very, very popular. There's been some vandalism and some other NIMBY groups and actions trying to get rid of them. Apparently, even a sign asking you to slow down is too much for some drivers. But in general, they're very popular. And I think it could lead to the start of more rethinking about how we use our shared street space in Los Angeles.
Yeah, absolutely. So the city council, you say, has voted to make these permanent. So what does that look like? Are we going to get more than just sort of the sandwich board signs, or what are they looking to do?
Yeah, it's really exciting. So they basically took money from Ciclavia and other things that obviously aren't happening this year, about $800,000, and they gave it to DOT to make the existing slow streets permanent. And so the sandwich boards are going to be going away, and in its place, hopefully, we're going to be getting things like metal signs on posts, bollards, paint, mini neighborhood traffic circles, chicanes for extra long blocks, things like that hopefully will do what the current sandwich boards are doing, but even better, because they're not going to get knocked over in the wind or by trash trucks, and they're much harder to steal.
Right. And there's cities, like the smaller cities around Los Angeles seem to be really good at doing these kind of traffic calming measures. Like, if you ride through like West Hollywood, they've got these compact traffic circles and diversions and all that kind of stuff. So I guess ultimately this is a step towards solid infrastructure like that.
Yeah, West Hollywood is near the top of my list for how to do traffic calming on residential streets right. Even I live on Formosa, which is in the city of Los Angeles, but if you go 2 blocks up, it becomes the city of West Hollywood. And as soon as you get into West Hollywood, you've got a chicane mid-block, and you've got a neighborhood traffic circle at Lexington and Formosa, and it's just a different world. I think they put those in mainly from people complaining that cars are going too fast, not necessarily to assist people cycling. But I
Right.
think that of course you slow cars down and it benefits everybody, including cyclists. So yeah, West Hollywood's been great. Santa Monica has been great. Culver City's doing more and more. Per capita or per square mile, LADOT has far less money compared to these other cities. And that's the tragedy. We have so many roads and so much road space that I would be surprised if we have even half per square mile of what a city like Santa Monica or West Hollywood has to improve their roads, which is why we can't even afford green paint right now. And the city of Santa Monica can do a 2-way protected cycle track on Ocean in just a matter of weeks.
Now, is when you talk about this budget, is this something that the city has sort of told you, or is this from your research? Because it's like they managed to find the money when they want to do, street widenings and projects like Magnolia, which I know that's not city money, but they seem to dig around and find that money when they need it. Is this something that they're sort of telling you, or do you know what I mean? Like,
I've been told that we can't even afford green paint right now. So it's bad. A project like the Magnolia widening was paid for, I think, through a Caltrans grant. Most freeway widenings, there's somehow always plenty of money in the state of California to widen a freeway. I know I'm preaching to the choir here, but it's different pots of money. If we could reallocate even 10% of the money that we spend on widening streets and improving things for cars and put that into the city of Los Angeles's coffers specifically for bike and pedestrian projects, we'd have a completely different city.
Totally. And we've been bringing this up for years, but it's like when they repave, it doesn't sound that much more expensive to stripe it a little differently.
It's not. That's not a money thing. That's a political will thing. And with the election of Nithya, and now Mike Bonin has a buddy on the council, which is exciting to talk about these ideas. And I think 2022 will be the year that true progressives firmly cement their grip in LA City Council. Someone like a Paul Koretz, who thank God is termed out. I don't think he's just going to float to city controller like he thinks he is. I think guys like Mitch O'Farrell, who have constant clash with progressives over homelessness stances, road safety stances, I think he's going to have a run for his money. Anyone that's not at this point, who's on the city council running for re-election and not supporting safer streets in our mobility plan, I think is in for trouble in 2022 and beyond.
Let's talk 2021 for Streets for All.
The first half of the year, we're laser focused on neighborhood council elections. People don't realize, but actually most people haven't even ever heard of a neighborhood council. But we have a great primer and explainer on streetsforall.org. And neighborhood councils are often where progressive projects go to die before they even get to a council office or LADOT. So we really want to flip them. We want to get progressives on neighborhood councils, and most of them are not progressive. So we have been collaborating with organizations like DSA and LA Forward, and behind the scenes, helping people explain what it is, how to run, get them registered, explain how to attract voters, how to put a slate together, how to assemble a list and make sure people vote. It's all vote by mail this year, but people do have to register. And so far, I'm really hopeful. We have our hit list of NCs that we want to flip, and hopefully we get our way. And that could pave the way for more progressive council members like Nithya and like Mike Bonin who want to do progressive stuff, but the neighborhood council is holding them back. That could pave the way. The other thing that we're really focused on, of course, is the 2022 primaries, which are amazingly only 14 months away. So after we get through the neighborhood council stuff, it's from March to June are the elections. Probably in August, we'll release our candidate questionnaire, and we'll be endorsing for city attorney for 8 of the council seats that are up for re-election or election, for mayor, which is going to be an important role, And so that'll be the focus for the second half of the year, leading up to March 2022. In the middle of that, or whenever we have time, we still have got Venice Boulevard for All, our push to make Venice Boulevard the first complete street in Los Angeles, VeniceBoulevardForAll.com. We're trying to convince the mayor's office that he should leave a great legacy and Venice Boulevard should be it. So we'll see what happens. We're very interested in Metro's plans for first last mile around all their construction, and also getting them to think differently. I want 2021 to be the last year that we ever widen a freeway in Southern California. It's not easy, but I'd love to do that. I want to repeal parking minimums and institute parking maximums. We're tracking some bills at the state level, rebates for e-bikes, giving cities more power to set speed limits. It's crazy that LA can't even control speed limits. Bringing back red light cameras and speed cameras to take police out of giving tickets, but still enforcing speed limits and red lights. And also there's a state bill that Metro needs passed so they can put cameras on the front of their buses. So if someone's blocking the bus lane, it's an automatic huge fine that gets mailed.
Nice.
So there's a lot of exciting. Oh, and of course the Idaho stop law, which was introduced by Assembly Member Horvath. And that would make it legal to treat a stop sign like a yield sign in Los Angeles, in California. So those are a few of the things that we're working on and tracking.
Yeah, interesting on the red light cameras. I kind of got into it with on that issue some years ago, and there's a national movement to get rid of red light cameras as well as speed cameras that's going on. So that'd be an interesting battle to watch here in California.
Yeah.
Which California just seems to be so pro car still, that's quite a fight. So
I think people just can't imagine another way. And once they try an e-bike, once they try a scooter and feel like they're not going to die, once they take a bus that actually has a bus lane and it's really fast, these are the things that can change hearts and minds. And I don't think people enjoy sitting in traffic. I don't think people enjoy looking for parking. Those are two things that I never have to do because I'm on a bicycle. So right. I think if you start, guilting people, making them feel bad about climate change, all that stuff, I don't think works. I think if you appeal to their selfish nature, do you want to sit stuck in traffic? Do you want free VIP parking anywhere you go? Stuff like that. And all of a sudden you can start to see the opportunities for change.
Right. No, I totally agree. Whenever I engage in some kind of transportation activism, for example, out in the valley where I live now, there is a road diet on my street, and I went house to house petition gathering for it, and I never once mentioned bikes. I just mentioned traffic, cut through traffic, having space in front of your house to take out the trash without getting run over by a car, property values, those kind of things. So I think that's the right. I totally agree on what you're saying. Like, you got to kind of find selfish ways to appeal to people, because I think a lot of people, when they hear bikes, it just sounds impossible until they actually get out and try it, and that's not necessarily going to happen for them. So good work, man. I'm really interested in following this Google Maps thing, because I just see such an opportunity there to really spread that and kind of beat back on ways by linking up with the sort of residential homeowner crowd, which is a powerful political constituency. So once again, congratulations for what it's worth, Bike Talk Best of 2020. So yeah, I mean, why don't we any final thoughts or anything you want to get the word out about, and give us your social media handles. And
well, thanks for the accolade, guys. Social media is just Streets for All on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. The number, you spell it out, FOR, not the number 4, and it's streetsforall.org. The last thing I guess I'll say is we did just launch a thing called Rethink LA. We want to inspire people to rethink the streets where they live. And anyone can submit a proposal to redo the street and tell us what they'd like changed. And we're going to filter them, and we're going to take a few and actually try to get them done. So if anyone's super interested or excited about that, feel free to check it out on our website. It's on our initiatives page, and submit your street and we'll see what we can do. And also run for neighborhood council. If you live in the city of Los Angeles, for some of them it's too late, for some of them it's not. Anyone that's listening to this, please go to streetsforall.org, click on neighborhood councils, learn about it, and file to run. We just need many more progressives on neighborhood councils throughout the city.
And especially get involved with the transportation committees on those neighborhood councils, right? So that's kind of where the things are birthed, where the emotions are birthed and then brought to the...
That's where they're birthed, but the board is, of course, the most important. We have neighborhood councils that have super progressive transportation committees and super progressive boards, and the proposals go nowhere.
Okay.
Yeah, and vacancies come up all the time. We have a link to all the vacancies citywide on our website. So you don't have to run if you don't want to be elected, but you still want to be on neighborhood council. You can check that list and usually get appointed pretty easily. Vacancies happen all the time.
Right. Cool. Well, thank you, Michael Schneider with Streets for All. And we'll have you back on soon with more updates, if you would be so kind.
Yeah, sounds great. Good to see you both, and hope it's not too late to say Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
All right. Take care, man.
See you guys.
I rise in the morning and greet the day. Pull out the bike and I'm on my way. The transportation shows I care. Every turn of the pedal cleans the air. Greener than green, I'm saving the planet. Just like my friends Dale, Sean, Toby, and Janet. No greenhouse gas, a tiny carbon footprint up your ass. I'm on a motherfucking bike. I'm on a motherfucking bike.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Bike Talk. If you want to hear more, go to kpfk.org, navigate to programs, and choose Bike Talk. On the Bike Talk page, click on the archives link to play or download shows posted in the last 4 months. Go to biketalk.com and copy or click on the RSS link to subscribe. Our Twitter handle is BikeTalkPFK. On Facebook, we are Bike Talk. You can become friends and join our group.